unrequited crush, my boss, suddenly gave me a fountain pen. In that instant, a barrage of thoughts flashed through my head like a live comment feed. Hee, Lily baby doesn't know this pen has an empathy link with Ethan yet, does she? Oh my God, this is so exciting. I heard things get really spicy later. Is that true? It's true, it's true. Ethan is like an ox in the field. This story is worth every penny. I froze in place, staring at the pen in my hand, tentatively touching it. The next moment, my boss, sitting across from me, let out a muffled groan. No one in their right mind would fall for their boss. Except me, because Ethan's different. He's been nothing but kind to me. Ever since I graduated and joined the company, I've been working in the president's office. Ethan is known for being aloof and not particularly talkative. But when someone makes a mistake, he can tear them down until they're practically in tears. And yet I've always felt he treats me differently. When I first joined, it was natural to be unfamiliar with the processes. The seniors in the department were all busy with their own responsibilities, and no one was available to guide me. So, inevitably, I made a huge mistake. When I got called into the president's office, the seniors shot me looks like they were seeing me off to my doom. I was terrified, my nerves stretched to their breaking point as I walked in. But Ethan's face was calm. He only asked me how I was adjusting to the company, whether I felt comfortable here, and if the colleagues were treating me well. He didn't even bring up the mistake. When I left the office, the seniors all turned to stare at me. I quickly lowered my head, pretending I was about to cry. Even as a newbie, I understood. Special treatment like that was bound to spark jealousy. I've now been at the company for over a year. The seniors are scolded every day, practically reduced to puppies with their tails between their legs. As for me, I have to fake being scolded just to avoid suspicion. To live up to Ethan's expectations, I've been working harder and harder. I can't let him down. Even though I don't fully understand what he feels for me, if anything. Still, I want to prove myself, to make him see me in a new light. I know he treats me a little differently, but it's subtle, nothing over the line. Maybe, just maybe, he has a tiny soft spot for me. I can't let myself overthink it. As long as I can see him every day, that's enough. I'm earning a high salary and doing relatively easy work. What's there to complain about? Recently, the company secured a major deal. Everyone involved in the project was receiving a bonus. In the president's office, the bonuses were personally distributed by Ethan. I walked into his office with my colleagues. Ethan pulled out a stack of thick red envelopes. His voice was as cool as ever. These are for you. Since I was the least senior employee, I was at the end of the line. The seniors beamed as they received their envelopes. When it was my turn, there was nothing left. Ethan's face remained impassive. Lily hasn't been with the company long enough to qualify for a bonus. I've prepared something else for you. The seniors craned their necks to look. Ethan produced a dark blue box. Open it and see. What could possibly be better than cash? Confused, I opened the box. Inside lay a deep blue fountain pen tied neatly with a tiny pink bow. Instantly, those live comments flashed through my head again. Oh my God, he just handed over his soul, didn't he? Hee, Lily baby doesn't know this pen has an empathy link with Ethan yet, does she? This is so thrilling. I heard things heat up like crazy later. Is that true? It's true, it's true. Ethan's as hardworking as an ox in the field. This story is a win. I froze on the spot. What soul, what empathy link, what crazy heat, what ox in the field? Was I hallucinating from binge-watching dramas lately? Ethan's voice interrupted my daze. Don't like it. Oh no, our Ethan looks like he's about to break apart. What if my wife doesn't like the gift I gave her? That's my soul right there. Lily baby, say yes already. Don't be fooled by Ethan's calm facade. His hands are clenched so tight they're probably turning purple. I like it, I said quickly. Testing the waters, I reached out to touch the pen. I only meant to run my fingers along it, but for some reason, my heart began to race. Wait, before Ethan could finish, I had already given the pen a firm stroke. He let out a stifled groan, his eyelids suddenly turning red. The sound was so deep, so sensual, it sent shivers down my spine. The senior standing nearby looked puzzled, but didn't dare say a word. I couldn't help but laugh. Thank you, Ethan. I really like this pen. Oh my God, Ethan probably felt like he was about to explode. I can't get enough of him being completely at Lily Baby's mercy. This is too much, Lily Baby. Keep teasing him. If my pen shared an empathy link with my boss, I'd snap it in half on the spot. I glanced at Ethan and noticed the tension in his jaw. Was he holding something back? If you like it, take good care of it. Don't let me down, he said. I nodded. Of course, I'll make sure you're satisfied. Even though I had no idea where he found this empathy-linked pen, one thing was clear. We were living in a smutty romance novel. Let's just let these bizarre settings run their course, shall we? Ethan strode quickly towards the restroom as soon as he left the office. Is he finally losing it and needs to let off some steam? Just a single touch and he's already struggling. Come on, Ethan, where's your resolve? Poor Lily, she's got her hands full with this one. Wait, Lily's reaching out for something. My God, what is she up to now? Help. If Lily carries a pen around all the time, is Ethan just permanently on alert? Turns out, Ethan's not just a workaholic, but also a closet romantic. He's been secretly holding back for over a year, and all he dared to do was sneakily gift me a fountain pen. Well, I suppose I'll be magnanimous just this once and let him have his moment. But after this, the ball will firmly be in my court. I took the pen out of its box. Untying the ribbon, I ran my fingers along the body of the pen. Then I uncapped it and tried scribbling a few strokes on a piece of paper, just as I suspected. The pen was already filled with ink. The lines it drew were bold and dark, the color rich and intense. Oh my gosh, Ethan's dying in the restroom right now. Lily, you're just too good at this. Stop writing, stop writing. Ethan's probably tongue-tied in there. Wow, he's really playing with fire. Isn't he worried about, lasting repercussions? The thought of what he must look like right now flashed through my mind, and I couldn't help but feel a little flushed myself. Suddenly, a hand reached over from behind and snatched the pen from my fingers. It was Victoria, my least favorite colleague. It's just an ordinary fountain pen, not even expensive. I don't get why the boss would give you something like this. That pen was synced to Ethan. How could she just grab it like that? Does she have any idea what that could mean for him? Don't worry, Ethan's a genius. The pen's only connected to Lily. Even he can't feel it when someone else touches it. He planned for this. He knew the pen might end up in someone else's hands. Smart move, Ethan. Oh, speak of the devil, Ethan's just stepped out of the restroom. Imagine his face if he sees his lifeline in someone else's grip. Lily's panicking, poor thing. I just want to hug her. Give it back, I demanded, my voice sharp with urgency. Seeing the reassuring comments on the invisible commentary feed, I felt slightly relieved. But still, anger bubbled under the surface. I debated snatching the pen from Victoria, but hesitated, worried she might refuse to let go. What if Ethan got hurt in the process? What's the big deal? Is it that precious to you? Victoria sneered, holding the pen up to inspect it more closely. Looks plain to me, nothing special. She paused, then smirked. But hey, Lil, do you have a crush on the boss or something? Her voice was loud enough to draw the attention of our colleagues. Heads turned, curious eyes landing on me. My cheeks burned bright red. "You're talking nonsense," I blurted. Behind me, Ethan's cool, measured voice cut through the air. "What are you two discussing?" "Oh, Lily, you naughty girl. First, you mess with him until he's practically breathless, and now you deny liking him. Ethan's about to break. Look at his hands, they're shaking. He's so petty, though. Lily, you better watch out. He's the kind to get even in ways that'll leave you completely undone. Not gonna lie, though, I kind of can't wait to see it happen." I turned to look at him. Ethan's expression was dark, his face as stormy as a thundercloud. I had one thought: I am so screwed. Victoria, ever the opportunist, played the victim immediately. "Boss, I just borrowed her pen for a second, and she's being so rude about it." Before I could defend myself, Ethan let out a sharp, humorless laugh. "That pen belongs to her. Did you ask her permission before taking it?" There was a pause, his voice dropping an octave. "Victoria, you've been in the executive office for years. When did you start behaving so unprofessionally? Give it back to her. Don't make me repeat myself." The office fell silent as everyone watched the scene unfold. With Ethan backing me up like this, why should I be afraid? "Vicky, could you please wipe it down and place it back in the box for me?" I said sweetly. This was a gift from the boss. I treasure it dearly. Victoria's face flushed with anger. "Boss, look at her. You're spoiling her so much she's getting cocky." Ethan's expression darkened further. "Didn't you hear what I said?" Victoria deflated instantly, grabbing a tissue to clean the pen before reluctantly placing it back in its box. I looked over at Ethan. "Don't worry, boss. I'll make sure to keep your pen safe and carry it with me at all times. I won't let anyone else touch it." He stared at me for a long moment, his gaze unfathomable, before turning on his heel and heading back to his office. For some reason, I couldn't shake the feeling that he seemed even angrier now. Poor Ethan. Lily's being so polite, but he's probably feeling so left out. Lily doesn't know how he feels about her. She's just trying to be respectful to her boss. Can we fast forward the plot already? I'm done with this slow burn. I need some action. That night, I sat at my desk, staring at the box with the pen nestled inside. I was too nervous to touch it, worried I might interrupt Ethan somehow. OMG, Ethan's taking a shower. His physique is chef's kiss, abs, pecs, delts, the works. Too bad we can't see, you know that. Don't need to see it. I can imagine well enough. Protagonist energy, am I right? He's being so thorough. He's scrubbing places I'd be too shy to even watch. So, he's in the shower, huh? Without thinking, I reached out and picked up the pen again. And the moment I did, Ethan's legs nearly gave out from the sudden shock, and he almost fell. Thankfully, he leaned against the wall for support. "Oh my God, Lily baby, what are you doing? Give me more of that." Ethan's face is so red. He looks like he's caught between heaven and hell. "Lily baby, your timing is impeccable." I paused and took the cap off my pen. As expected, a drop of ink dripped down. It leaked. Oh my God, so Ethan isn't washing up. Turns out he's at a Luckin Coffee. That explains the odd vibe. The thing is, his expression is so cold and indifferent, none of us could tell. I'm dying to see if he'll have the same expression when he and Lily baby get intimate. This pen doesn't seem very reliable, I muttered, grabbing a tissue to wipe the ink off the nib. Then, I gripped it again. Lily baby is starting again. She looks like she's about to write something. Oh my God, can Ethan handle this? Don't force the ink out again and stick out your tongue. Please, Lily baby, give him a moment to breathe. This story is chef's kiss. Can the author start a new one? I'll follow it religiously. Suddenly, my phone rang. Ethan's voice came through, restrained. What are you doing? What am I doing? Seriously, babe, you and I both know. Looking at my phone, I replied. "There's a document I need you to handle," he said coldly. "Put aside whatever you're doing and work overtime." Overtime? I couldn't help but scoff. My fingers tightened slightly around the pen. Ah, he can't take it anymore, Lily baby. He actually suggested overtime. He must be completely drained of ink. Poor thing Tilda. Is this really the Ethan we know from so many romantic tropes? To be fair, he did have to force out a lot of ink at the office earlier today. He's probably scared now. "Are you still using that fountain pen right now?" Ethan asked. "Yeah." There was a brief pause on the other end. "Stop using it for now. That pen's ink cartridge generates a bit of ink automatically every day. Overusing it isn't good for the pen or you. Use it sparingly, okay?" Why do I feel like he's not talking about a pen? It is a pen, isn't it? What are you all talking about? I'm totally lost, Tilda. Oh, you sweet summer child, you came to read this kind of story and you still don't get it. Lily baby is blushing, but why? Honestly, I think she knows. She totally knows. Got it, Ethan. I'll be careful with the pen, but I don't want to work overtime. Is that okay? Maybe because I knew how he felt about me, I couldn't help but press a little further. Ethan's voice softened on the other end. "Fine, come to my office tomorrow instead." "All right, Ethan Tilda. Lily baby is so adorable when she's happy about skipping overtime. I want to smother her with kisses. This is so sweet I can't take it." And of course Ethan is. Raising the flag again. Our poor Ethan, with such little self-control, will probably get completely wrapped around Lily baby's finger someday. I can't wait. I can't wait. Can we fast forward to the good parts already? No doubt about it, Ethan is in full-on Luckin mode again. Honestly, I had been thinking about fiddling with the pen some more, but after some consideration, I decided against it. Instead, I wrapped it in a tissue and tucked it back into its case. I didn't touch it again after that. The next day at work, I brought the document Ethan had asked me to handle and headed to his office. The door was shut tightly. I remembered that the last person to enter was Victoria, who'd brought him coffee. Suddenly, I heard a woman's startled cry from inside. Something didn't feel right. I knocked on the door perfunctorily. "Ethan, I'm coming in." "Wait." He hadn't even finished speaking when I pushed the door open. Inside, Victoria was crouched in front of him, doing something I couldn't quite see. The position was more than a little suggestive. It was hard not to let my mind wander. The female rival spilled coffee on our poor Ethan's lap. Let's hope our boy isn't burned where it counts. Ah, Lily baby saw it. Will there be a misunderstanding? Lily baby, punish him properly for us. Ethan's face was flushed with anger. Get out. Victoria turned to me with a smug expression. Lily, you really need to learn some boundaries. You should never barge in when Ethan hasn't asked you to. Be more mindful next time. Leave, Ethan said coldly, his voice terrifyingly sharp. He was never this harsh, even when reprimanding his subordinates. Victoria froze. But Ethan, I said, get out. Ethan didn't even look at her. Victoria hesitated for a moment, then rose to her feet, glaring daggers at me before storming out of the office. What are you doing here? Ethan asked, his tone still icy. I placed the document I'd brought on his desk. This is the file you asked me to work on last night. It's done. Please review it. My gaze drifted toward him, and I spoke cautiously. Maybe you should. Change your clothes first, Ethan. Ethan's expression finally softened. He knew I hadn't misunderstood him. All right, you can head out now. Just leave the documents here. I'll go through them later. Got it, I said, turning to leave. Ethan glanced down at the coffee stain on his shirt before heading into the break room. Thank goodness Lily baby didn't misunderstand, or this would have been beyond awkward. Seriously, Ethan, you have a mouth, don't you? Why not just explain yourself? Oh, right. Our Mr. Cool and broody king only knows how to pine silently from the shadows. When are they going to cook dinner? Break the tension already. I'm dying here. As I reached the door, I suddenly stopped, removing the pen clipped to the pocket of my blouse. I gripped it in my hand and turned back to the desk. I uncapped the pen, ready to jot something down. Just then, Ethan emerged from the break room. The corners of his eyes were visibly red, and there was a faint hint of moisture lingering there. "Lily, what are you doing?" I looked up at him, startled. He had taken off his shirt. His lean, muscular physique was now on full display, broad shoulders, a tapered waist, and a body that could easily make headlines. But that wasn't the most distracting part. It was lower. A sizable bulge was straining against his trousers. Oh my God, Lily baby's about to get a nosebleed at this rate. Ah, he's panicking. Ethan's totally panicking. Is this it? Is it finally happening? Lily, you're still holding that pen. Do something already. Mister. Ethan, I just remembered that there's one spot on the document that still requires my signature, so I thought I'd take care of it, I stammered. Ethan took a small step forward, visibly flustered. Don't use that pen. There's a signing pen on my desk. Use that one. Sure thing, Ethan. I nodded obediently, but my gaze lingered on him. Ethan shut his eyes, clearly mortified. Sorry you had to see this, but I swear, I'm not some kind of creep. I thought you came back because there was something urgent. Oh, sweetie, you're so adorably repressed. I know you're not a creep, Ethan. Feeling a little mischievous, my eyes darted back to the tent. You must have been burned by the coffee earlier, right? Heat expansion and all that. Lily, what are you doing? What's gotten into you? I'm literally about to pass out. Lily baby, you're so bad. Is this flirting? Taunting? Whatever it is, I love it. I'm telling you, the tent just got bigger. Someone confirm this for me. If I hadn't walked in just now, I teased, were you planning to have Victoria help you change and treat the burn? Ethan shook his head fervently. No, it was just an accident. I told her to leave quickly, but she refused. I walked up to him with calm composure, standing right in front of him. Our eyes met as I raised the pen in my hand. Don't you think you're being a little too protective of this pen? Ethan, what exactly are you hiding? Caught off guard by the abrupt shift in my tone and the fact that I just used his first name, Ethan froze. I just wanted you to take good care of it, that's all. Really? I pressed. Ethan was visibly nervous, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallowed hard. Really, it's just a prize I wanted you to cherish. How is he not kissing her yet? They're literally inches apart. Lily, just one step forward, and you'd be touching the tent already. Oh my God, Lily's secretly such a tease. I love her. Keep going, keep going. Someone make it happen. Suddenly, the office door swung open again. Victoria's voice rang out. Ethan, I've brought you a change of clothes. What are you two doing? Her tone was accusatory, almost like she'd caught us in the act. I turned my head and rolled my eyes at her. Leave. Ethan didn't even bother trying to mask his irritation. You can go. Lily and I still have things to discuss. Victoria pouted. What could you possibly have to discuss, Ethan? You too. Don't make me repeat myself. Leave, now. Fine. Reluctantly, Victoria shut the door behind her as she left. The moment the door clicked shut, Ethan grabbed my wrist and pulled me into the break room. The lock turned with a decisive click. I found myself pressed against the door, trapped between the cool surface and his warm, shirtless body. There was nowhere to run. He wrapped his hand around mine, the one still holding the pen. His voice, husky and low, brushed against my ear. Do you like the pen I gave you? I turned my head to dodge the kiss he was aiming at me. Ethan, the pen and I are connected, he murmured, confessions spilling from his lips. I whipped my head around to stare at him. What? He shifted his hips slightly, pressing the bulge against me. This pen, it's linked to me. When you touch it, I react. Wait, what? Did the male lead just confess? This is my second read-through, and something feels off. Why is the plot moving so fast? This isn't how I remember it. So the pen incident got exposed just like that. Is Lily Baby going to think he's a total creep? Are we heading for some kind of obsessive love trope? Oh, this is getting so interesting, Tilda. Ethan seemed very pleased when he saw the surprise on my face. Leaning in close to my ear, he whispered, "Help me, will you? It's really stuck. Heat expansion and all that. Can't get it down." Oh my God, Ethan, something's seriously off with you. He's running me over with a steamroller. I can't handle this. Oh no, I'm going to get a nosebleed. Help. Just do it already. I'm dying of anticipation here. I felt a little flushed myself. Ethan, I said coolly, this is sexual harassment. I could call the cops on you. Ethan was unfazed. Go ahead. I don't mind and won't resist. But Lil, are you sure you don't like it? How could I not like it, darling? I reached out on my own initiative. I like it. I like it a lot. When I finally walked out of his office, all the colleagues outside were giving me strange looks. I headed to the break room. Victoria followed me in. What's going on with you and Ethan? She demanded. He usually doesn't even look at you. How are you suddenly so close to him? I pressed the water dispenser button. That's none of your business. Victoria was clearly furious. Her words came out like they were being squeezed through clenched teeth. You think you're something just because you've got a pretty face. You're nothing but a nobody. He doesn't even like you. He's just having some fun with a little girl like you. If you're dreaming of climbing the corporate ladder, you'll have to wait for your next life. God. I picked up my mug and took a sip of water, too lazy to argue with her. A moment later, the invisible audience started chiming in again. Oh my God, what kind of person spreads malicious rumors like that? I wasn't even that mad at Victoria before, but how could she say something so awful? Lily Baby is so pitiful. She didn't do anything, and now she's being slandered like this. Victoria, just die already. Anyone who spreads rumors like that deserves to disappear. At the end of the day, I got into the elevator to leave. The elevator stopped midway, and a man walked in. Harvey, the HR manager. He was in his 40s, with a round face, a beer belly, and an oily look that made me uncomfortable. He had a habit of letting his eyes linger a little too long on people. I subtly shifted into a corner. Normally, the elevator would be crowded during this time. But today, for some reason, it was just the two of us. Lily Baby, be careful. That guy's no good. Is this the power of plot manipulation? How is the elevator empty during rush hour? Lily Baby, get ready to knee him if he tries anything. Kick him to kingdom come. Gross man, get lost. Stay away from our sweet, soft Lily Baby. Harvey recognized me. We'd met when I first joined the company. He'd sent me plenty of suggestive messages, all of which I had ignored. Off work already? Busy day? He asked, striking up a conversation. I forced a stiff smile. Not too busy. Is that so? You weren't slacking off instead of taking good care of the CEO, were you? His words were disgusting. He moved closer to me as he spoke. I frowned and edged further into the corner, determined not to engage. The numbers on the elevator screen ticked down slowly. As he got closer, my heart began to race. Harvey reached out a hand. Lily, you're so beautiful and you've got a great figure. Why don't you have a boyfriend? Could it be that you still don't know how to enjoy being a woman? Let me show you. I promise you'll love it, Tilda. His hand was about to land on my hip. I gritted my teeth and prepared to knee him in the groin. Just then, a chime sounded. The elevator doors opened on the ground floor. Ethan stood there. Harvey, the slimy hypocrite, reacted instantly, straightening up and pretending nothing had happened. "Good evening, CEO," he greeted deferentially. Ethan's eyes bore into him, dark and cold. He stepped into the elevator. "You get out. I just remembered there's something I need to discuss with her." Harvey nodded and slunk out, bowing and scraping. The doors closed again. Ethan stood close to me. "What happened? You don't look well." Male lead, avenge our Lily baby. If he hadn't shown up in time, Lily baby would have been harassed by that creep. "Lily baby, say something. You already helped him earlier. What's there to be shy about now?" Poor Lily baby, her eyes are red from holding back tears. I didn't say anything, just shrank further into the corner. It wasn't anger I was feeling. It was the uncertainty that had been gnawing at me all afternoon. What exactly were we now? After I'd helped him with the ink in the lounge earlier, he just laid there, seemingly savoring the moment. I'd gone to wash my hands, but he hadn't said a word. An entire afternoon, a whole afternoon. That kind of thing had happened, and yet he didn't react at all. I was still waiting for him to say he liked me. "What's wrong? You look upset." Ethan's tone was tentative, almost careful. "Did I do something wrong? Don't be mad. I've already made a reservation at the restaurant. We can grab dinner and then catch a movie afterward." "Idiot." "Lil." Ethan was flustered now. He didn't know how to make things right. He wrapped his arms around my waist, trying to kiss me. What a fool. I suddenly pulled out a pen and gripped it tightly. His tall frame faltered, his hand shooting out to brace against the elevator wall. He let out a low groan, his voice strained as he spoke. "Baby, let's talk this through, okay? Doing this. I'm not made of steel, you know." I stared at him, tightening my hold slightly. His waist bent even more, his voice trembling. "Please, this is a public place. Our Lily baby is so fierce, I love it." The male lead knows what's up, he's already begging. Oh my God, this story is too wild. I had to admit, I felt a bit of satisfaction in my chest. The elevator reached the basement level. As soon as the doors opened, we were greeted by a group of people. Seeing Ethan's flushed face and the way he was clutching his stomach and bending over slightly, they instinctively took a step back. "Ethan, are you all right?" "Oh my gosh, should we take him to the hospital? Is it a fever?" "A fever, indeed, a burning one." I reached out to steady his arm, letting him lean on me. "It's nothing, Ethan's stomach is acting up again. I'll take him to the car and grab some medication. Don't worry." Though they stepped aside, their eyes lingered on us. Ethan cleared his throat. "I'm fine, don't worry about it." Finally, they turned and entered the elevator, mumbling amongst themselves. The moment the doors closed, I let go of Ethan. He held his stomach with one hand, his body still slightly hunched as he followed behind me. "Baby, what did I do wrong? Can't you just tell me?" For safety's sake, I only held the pen lightly at this point, not making any sudden moves. Once we reached the car, I told him to open the back door. Then I slid inside. He climbed in after me. As he was about to sit down, "On your knees. You're not allowed to sit." Another muffled groan escaped him. He looked at me in disbelief. "Lil," I showed no mercy, brandishing the pen as a threat. Our Lily baby is such a pro. Did you see the male lead's wide, stunned eyes? Priceless. Who knew Lily baby had such a hidden edge? "I love her, Tilda. Hurry up and continue. Don't keep us waiting." "Lily baby, this is dangerous territory. Do you even realize how capable Ethan is? You're playing with fire." Ethan might have been astonished, but there was undeniable excitement flickering in his eyes. He didn't argue, lowering himself to kneel on the car seat. Because of his height, he had to hunch over, looking more like a loyal pup than a grown man. I pressed the pen's tip lightly against his chest. His body shivered slightly, and he frowned. "Don't." I raised my hand and slapped him lightly. "Tell me, what's your relationship with Victoria?" Ethan slowly turned his head back, his face angled from the slap. Nothing. She's just an ordinary employee. After speaking, he even rubbed his cheek against my hand like a cat. Trust me, Lil. Really? I slapped him again. Why did you give me this pen? Were you trying to harass me? Does your family even know about how reservedly pervy you are? Do they know about these quirks of yours? Well, speak. Things are definitely heading into uncharted territory. Our soft and sweet Lily baby is turning into such a badass. It's incredible. The male lead has been thoroughly tamed. He's like a puppy now. Oh my, oh my. Ethan's face turned beet red. I'm sorry, it's my fault. I wasn't trying to harass you. Baby, I only gave it to you because I like you. I let out a cold laugh. So you show your affection by giving me your precious pen? Who does that? Ethan, have you completely lost your mind from the fever? Aren't you even worried I might break your precious little gift? Ethan started panting, his voice hoarse. I'm sorry, baby. It's my fault. It's all my fault. Just give me a break, please. I can't take it anymore. If you don't like Victoria, then she'll be gone. She won't show up in the company again. I'll fire her. Baby, I'm begging you, let me off the hook, all right? Now that's more like it. Satisfied, I leaned forward and kissed his cheek. Good boy. In the next moment, the pen's ink leaked all over my hand. Ethan looked so embarrassed, he didn't know where to put his arms or legs. I just got too excited, that's all. Baby, please don't doubt my abilities. I glanced at the trunk. I think there are clean clothes back there. Go change, he nodded. Okay. The back seat was spacious. I sat there, watching as he changed, taking in the sight with quiet appreciation. Ethan was as nervous as a child. He fumbled with his clothes, getting them wrong multiple times. I cleared my throat to grab his attention. What do you think our relationship is now? Ethan looked up at me, his eyes clouded with visible confusion. I leaned closer to him, staring intently. Come on, say it. Don't make me force it out of you. He shrank back slightly. This was the same Ethan who commanded meetings with an iron will, yet now his voice was barely above a whisper. I'm your puppy. Wait, that wasn't the answer I was looking for, but he wasn't entirely wrong either. I nodded. At least you're self-aware. Ah, Lily baby knows how to handle him. Oh my gosh, where did my cool and aloof male lead go? This story is getting so weird. I swear it didn't feel like this the first time I read it. Lily baby's a closet dominator. I'm loving this, ha ha ha. The next day, at the office, I noticed my colleagues giving me odd looks. I didn't think much of it until Harvey's wife showed up. She stomped over to my desk, shouting loudly. You seduced my husband. You ruined my family. He spent so much money on you. She hurled accusation after accusation, throwing baseless insults my way. The other colleagues stood at a distance, watching the drama unfold. I could tell they knew about this beforehand. The looks they exchanged said it all. I met Victoria's gaze across the room. Her lips curled into a smug smile, her expression triumphant. Lily, just admit it, Victoria said, her voice laced with feigned concern. I saw you talking to Manager Harvey just yesterday. You're young, so making mistakes like this is understandable. Just admit it and make amends. Don't dig yourself deeper. Ugh, Victoria is infuriating. Where's Ethan? How can he not show up for this? Come on, Ethan, stand up for Lily baby already. Shut up. I crossed my arms and glared at Victoria. Don't think I don't know who's been spreading rumors. It's you, isn't it? Victoria, you tried to seduce the CEO and failed, so now you're making up lies about me. Are you insane? I'd always maintained a good-natured demeanor at work. So my sudden outburst left everyone stunned. Even Harvey's wife, who had been yelling nonstop, was momentarily speechless. And that's when Ethan appeared. He frowned. What's going on here? Harvey's wife wasted no time pointing at me, her voice rising again. Ethan, this little secretary seduced my husband. She's destroying my family. Victoria quickly chimed in, CEO, don't be fooled by Lily's innocent face. She acts so pure, but who knows how wild she is behind closed doors. Well, she wasn't entirely wrong. Ethan and I were quite wild behind closed doors, but that had nothing to do with her. Enough out of you. Why are you always the loudest one here? I couldn't hold back anymore. I grabbed the glass cup on my desk and hurled it to the floor. Victoria shrieked. Lily, this is the office, not your home. The CEO is right here and you're smashing things. Ethan, look at her behavior. Ethan's expression didn't change. Calmly, he pulled out his phone and tapped on the screen. Everyone, check the company group chat. See for yourselves who's been messing around in the stairwell. The video he shared left no room for doubt. It captured Victoria and Harvey in a compromising situation, their faces unmistakably clear. The entire office fell silent. Harvey's wife, upon seeing the video on another colleague's phone, exploded in rage. She lunged at Victoria, grabbing her hair and screaming. Ethan turned to his assistant. Call the police. The assistant nodded, understood. Victoria, Harvey, and his wife were all taken away. Finally, peace returned to the office floor. Curious colleagues began glancing at me and Ethan, their restraint giving way to curiosity. Lily, what's your relationship with the CEO? One of them dared to ask. I raised an eyebrow and looked at Ethan. Can I tell them, or are you too shy? Ethan's eyes flickered with panic. He opened his mouth, but quickly closed it again, his ears turning red. He looked away. Do whatever you want, I smiled and turned to the colleagues. He's my. How will Ethan recover from this? Ha ha ha, the cold and aloof CEO reduced to this. He should just pack up and move into a doghouse. Lily baby is a queen. This is so satisfying to read. Honestly, the most shocking part is that Ethan agrees to all of this. Isn't that wild? Boyfriend. The moment the last word left my lips, Ethan's head snapped back toward me. After a brief moment of stunned silence, the colleagues broke into smiles and congratulations. Later that night, Ethan knelt by the bed, a collar around his neck. I extended my hand, and he leaned over, pressing his lips to my fingers. Baby, I love you so much, Tilda. Baby, does this mean I've been promoted? Baby, why didn't you play with me today? I slapped him lightly. Don't get cocky. I only gave you face in public. At home, you're still my dog. Ethan nodded. All right, baby, I'm your puppy. Ah, finally, the real drama begins. When I stepped out, all the seniors turned their heads to look at me. Why on earth did I decide to open this book on the first day of my period? Ah, Lily baby, are you really going to make him beg on his knees? Ethan nodded firmly. Baby, are you still mad at me? Stay the night, won't you? I promise I'll take good care of you. Just say yes, Lily baby. The male lead is completely hooked now, totally entranced. He can't live without Lily baby anymore. This is so satisfying. Keep going. Keep pushing those limits. I'm a premium member, author. If you don't deliver, I'll be very upset. All right then, I'll stay. Ethan's face lit up. He immediately leapt onto the bed from the floor and kissed my cheek. Master, your little puppy will make you happy. Oh my God, Ethan, you just threw your dignity and your boxers straight at my face. Finally, the plot is kicking off. Quick, let me renew my membership. Lily baby's face is so red. And oh, that sound she made Tilda. Wait, what's with the blackout? Hey, you up there, you didn't pay for premium access. As the first round came to close, Ethan suddenly spoke. Lily, you know, I can see everything you're seeing. They're all complaining that they didn't get enough. Why don't we stay up tonight and give them a proper performance? Me? Oh God, if I had known, I would have toned it down.